Hello everyone, my name is Tucker, and welcome back to our Russian Fishing for Float Fishing career. I want to try again for some bigger carp, and last episode we did unlock the ability to make sweet dough. So I went to the grocery store, bought wheat flour, pasteurized milk, and sugar, and I've started putting together the sweet dough balls. That's number 9, this is going to be 10. So we're going to go, we were yesterday. 3554 here. It's been all over VK as being very, very active with a 10 clip. So I'm going to give it a try. We'll see what happens. But same spot we were last night and going to try it with a different bait. Folks, we're using, looks like sweet dough, could have been honey dough, as well as using night crawlers. Again, night crawlers we couldn't afford. We only spent about 20 silver on the sweet dough, so I think it was definitely worth it. And I'm going to do things a little bit different. I'm going to try one float rod with the big hook, the really big hook. That's the 1/0 hook. And I'm going to put the second one with a size 4 hook and sweet dough. And then I'm going to put the other big hook on our bottom rod. And I was trying to set a clip on float fishing, or on a telestick, which doesn't work well. And we're already seeing a bite here on one. And again, missed what should have been an easy catch. Dog was moving around, so I muted real quick. Here on 2. Oh, I hear what's going on. My neighbor's dog is out, and my dog's getting antsy because of that. Looks like he's going to lay down for a few minutes. Good. I forgot I had an extra one on. So I want a clip of 10. And we're going to cast out to about the same spot those are at. There we go. Fall off the ledge. And let's see what happens. So it is evening time. May not be the best time, but figured I'd give this a try. We're getting to the stage where going after big fish is fun, is different than what we've been doing, and that's really why I'm doing this. First catch on the size 4 is a decent gibel. Okay, I didn't have an extra. Why not? I could have bought one, but I want to see if the size 4 does better. It's a little bit slow. I recorded my spin fishing episode earlier, and it was also a slow bite rate. And unfortunately, when I went to start this one, the cutting of the spin fishing series crashed. So I got to do that again when we get done here. But another half kilo crucian there, getting bites on both the bottom rod and the other rod here. So both the rods that have the big hooks on it. And I think whatever was biting the bottom rod let go. These both feel like Gibels over here. But that looks like a crucian. Nice 700-gram crucian. Still watching the bite over here on float. This one is on monofilament, not our fluorocarbon line, and this looks like a pretty decent fish. 1.5 kilograms. Nice. And on the bottom rod, 467. Wish it could have been bigger, but still a marker. Saw the float pop up there. Another marker crucian. Not a big one, but a marker nonetheless. Got both of the floats at about a meter, about 1.4 meters, just short of a meter and a half. I did not look at cafe orders or anything like that. Probably should have, but I want to go after big fish. We've done enough cafe order chasing. Notice the yellow line was above the water line there. This is a good gibel. .8 kilogram gibel. My dog hears my neighbor's dog barking, just picked a ball up and threw it at me. I think he wants to play here in a few minutes, which we'll do after the episode here. So we've gotten 7 fish so far. All of them have been markers, which is about what I would expect. Unfortunately, no trophies yet. I saw the line above the water line, so Figured I had to try it there. So if you haven't been following, rod 1 is our monofilament line, about 7 kilogram line, 7.4 kilogram pole. The middle rod, the one that's in my hand right now, is the same exact pole or rod as the first rod, but it has about a 7 kilogram fluorocarbon line on it. And then the last rod is our starter float kit. I did upgrade the reel to about a 5.4 kilogram friction brake on it. Both of these two float rods are the starter plus float rod kit, minus the line. I've upgraded the line on both of them. The line it comes with is a little over a 5 kilo line. Did a comparison of the two over at Mosquito a couple of episodes back, fishing mainly carp and roach. Didn't really see a whole lot of difference between fluorocarbon and monofiber line or monofilament lines fishing for those species. The fluorocarbon rod did tend to catch bigger fish, but the monofilament line caught more fish, and from a silver perspective, they basically broke even. There was like 1/100th of a silver between the two of them difference. Which was not what I expected. I expected the monofilament line to be significantly lower. That's a good fish. And there's another trophy gibel. So 2.144 kilogram trophy gibel carp. I will take that any day of the week. So if you haven't seen it, 7 kilogram line using sweet dough. We got a 1/0 hook on there. And the depth right now is 1.3 meters on that rod. But I've hit my goal. Catch a trophy. I wouldn't mind getting a trophy crucian as well. We may have missed a bite on rod 2, but I'm okay with missing a bite to pull in a trophy. Someone else in the area just caught a 2.8 kilogram gibel. So the trophies are definitely out tonight. That's a smaller one. Still a marker. Which again, I'd expect smaller fish on this rod right now because I only have a size 4 hook on it. I'm debating running over to the tackle shop and buying another 1/0. I'm going to do just that. We're not too far away. It'll be 30 silver, somewhere around there, but I'm not too worried about that. It would be cheaper over at Mosquito or Winding, but it's not worth paying to leave and come back. So, Rage Series 1, roll down here to the 1/0. It's a little over 30. So as long as we make 31 silver today, we at least break even on that purchase. Decent fish for a size 4 hook. Just shy of a kilo. So I do want to evidently cast the rod. I do want to put this 1/0 that we just bought on that one after we pull this fish in, hopefully, or after we miss a bite. All right, so take off the 4, put on the 1/0, and put sweet dough back on it again. I think I was too late. I was waiting for it to drop, and then I realized it was swimming away. I was looking at the float camera, not the actual float itself. It's one of the downsides of the float camera is you can't tell if it's moving left, right, forward, backwards, just more up and down. Another good gibel. 1.1. I do think I've got rod 2 a little deeper now that I think about it. I think this is at, no, they're both at 1.3. Might be a little bit hard to see the rods or the floats right under the tip of the rod right now. With the sun coming up and the reflections, it might be a little bit difficult to see on YouTube. It popped up in the air. You probably saw that on the float camera at least. Another small gibel, unfortunately. Pretty good nibble there over on the feeder rod, and then it just stopped. And then it heard me talking about it and started again. I actually saw the water circle from one there to tell me there was a fish on it when the float went under. And this is a good fish. Just shy of a kilo. Thought it was swimming around enough for there to be a fish on it, and I was correct. It's like a smaller gibel again. Medium-sized gibel. Just making sure that line was tight. A lot of times I've noticed if there's a fish on, and it's a small one, especially if you kind of tighten it up, it may move around. And since I've got the heavy quiver tip on, I wanted to make sure I didn't have like a small rough or something on it. But a rough on a one-hot hook would be interesting. Hook would be bigger than the fish almost. At least the winds are calm, so I'm not having to worry about my floats blowing. I had that happen not too long ago on another account where I was fishing and the wind was so strong, the floats were just blowing all over the lake. You couldn't keep them where you wanted them. Ended up actually getting, missed a fish. Ended up getting a snag because of that. Blew it into a little tree under the water, and I couldn't unsnag it. Had to log off. I've noticed, for me at least, if I get a true snag on float fishing, it's almost easier and safer for me to just log off and back in, or switch lakes if it's a lower level lake. Every time I press right click on float to try and free a snag, I break the line every single time. I'll even see you freed yourself from the snag and then the line breaks. Here's a decent crucian. Looked bigger than it turned out to be. Got my lines crossed. This is a small one. Ooh, small brain. And we're only about 4,000 experience points from leveling up. 4,100. But also, if you look at it, we're 4,100 experience points from leveling up. and we've gotten 75,000 so far. That just shows how quickly it escalates. We're having to get, a small portion of our experience that we've already gotten, a reasonable portion. I can't do the math in my head, but 80,000 experience points to get to level 13, and from 12 to 13 is 31,000 of that. So almost 50%. Here's a good fish on fluorocarbon. Really good fish. Is that a crucian or is that a tench? Good tench. Only saw the gold color pulling it in. I couldn't tell exactly what it was. So far, the only non-marker we caught was that small bream. Ah, it was too late. Float dropped while I was on rod 1, and by the time I put it down, whatever it was already off. May have to call things short a little bit today. Seems like my four-legged friend may need to go out. Do that or do a cut and come back. Miss that fish. All right, I'm going to unfortunately have to take a quick cut here, and we'll come back in a little bit. You may hear someone talking in the background here to me, telling me he needs to go outside. So I'm going to take a quick cut here, and then we'll come back probably maybe in about an hour in game, or an hour in real life time, and try and fish again about 8:30 in the morning. So quick cut, be back in a little bit. And we're back in game. Sorry about that. Definitely needed to take care of the dog. He needed to go outside for a second. So I am back in. It's about 40 minutes later in real life. I decided to take a quick look at the cafe orders. A lot of perch, not really going for that. There is a Gibel order for small Gibels, so we got plenty of time on it. We may keep going on that. It's 4.5 silver for the 3 of those. And if we go over here to the fish market and look at those, the 3 smallest ones, it's still worthwhile to sell them to the cafe. The trophy that we caught is worth 11.69 silver, so definitely a good day. So far, we've already caught 50 silver in fish, and we still have about 20 minutes left in our typical hour-ish expedition. So I'm actually going to go back to the same place we were, same setup we had, and keep fishing for a little bit and see what we can come up with for today. So again, we're over here at 35.58, and I want to cast out to just at the edge of the green stuff. All 3 rods have 1/0 hooks on them now. We did buy a third 1/0 hook. And we're all set up. Good. I did completely log out while we were away, so I didn't waste any energy or anything like that. And fish last for 24 real life hours before they start going bad, so you can hang on to them. I wasn't worried about selling them. I looked before I went out, before we stepped away, and it was still just over 50 silver, so we lost nothing in the 40 minutes that we were gone there. Or if we did, it was less than a silver. And fish do slowly decay, so you can see this is worth 99% of what it was when we first caught it, but still 11.5 plus silver. Looks like folks are having some good bream hours right now, which is normal for Old Burg at this time. Getting a little bit of a nibble here on rod 2 and rod 1. Got the fish here. It's a good crucian. Probably about half a kilo. I'm still impressed that so far the only non-marker we've caught is that small white bream, or small bream. It'd actually be a marker white bream. Got another bite here over on 1. And another miss. So I think we'll probably go to about noon in game and then cut it off for the day. I do have to do some editing to slap the 2 chunks together. I actually have the spin fishing episode editing and rendering right now on my computer, my other computer. I had to cut a part of it out because I got a phone call in the middle of it. So want to get that done. It's a little after 9 o'clock in the evening my time, and I usually post that about midnight my time. So gonna have to push to get that done. We'll see if YouTube has it fully processed by then. Another miss. They're fake. I am not doing good. Almost looks like some folks have a bream competition going on. Was watching the float and saw it pop up and then start floating, swimming to the side. And usually that means I'm going to hook a fish, but for whatever reason, it seems like after the update, I get faked out like that more often than not. Pretty good fish on the bottom rod, it looks like. Although it's not pull and drag and I didn't turn the friction brake up. Decent gibel here. Decent crucian. Neither one of them spectacular, neither one of them over a kilogram, but I'll take it. Then a non-marker gibel on the bottom rod. If we are going to start going after bigger fish, I may start, especially if we're going after gibels and crucians, I may start working on ground bait as well. Here we go. Looked like it was going to be bigger when it was coming out. That's what she said. This one might not be a marker. Just barely a marker. I am enjoying the bite rate right now, though. Wrong rod. I think I messed up all three of the bites there. Picked up the wrong rod, picked up the feeder rod, which broke its one. Was too late to get over to rod 2, and then messed up the bite on rod 1, trying to pull it out while being frustrated that I screwed up. That wasn't a full bite, evidently. Come on, over this way a little bit, float. I do need to go back now that I'm not really doing a direct comparison, although kind of am. I do need to go back to having different colored floats, although it wouldn't matter much here. Because we're fishing in the green stuff. I am not doing well at catching fish. Little baby something. Little baby gibel. 50-gram gibel. The hook and the bait are almost bigger than the gibel was. Should have just thrown that one back. Angry noises. Angry noises. At least we got some red worms there. How much these hooks and floats are floating or being pushed around? It's amazing that there's not fish on there, to me. God blessed. Missed them both. I hit the wrong button switching between rods and then switching over to 2 and then just missed rod 1. And neighbor's yappy dog is going at it again. And going outside and barking every 5 minutes for the past hour. Right now is about when we had to cut out about 8:30 a.m. yesterday in game, so we'll see how things go for the next, probably about 10-15 minutes. If I keep missing fish, I'm going to get angry. There we go. It's small, but it's tiny. I'm going to go ahead and throw that back. Just short of a marker there. But at least worth more than a penny. Maybe a nickel, but this one's pretty decent. I was going to say, that looked like a tench. Getting some good nibbles here. Hopefully I don't screw up and get at least one of these two. This will be a reasonable crucian. Yeah, it's too late. So I think we're just over an hour. If I remember correctly, the first clip was about 40 minutes before we had to take a quick break. So I'll go for a little bit more here in game. Or I'll get really frustrated because I missed a fish that I shouldn't have and call it. Honestly, it's option 2. Give me time to wrap everything together and get it uploaded tonight as well too. So we did catch 30 fish in about an hour. Going for the bigger fish. I think we probably made about 70 to 80 silver. So Gibels by weight. We did get 3 non-markers, so that's definitely good to sell those 3. There's 4.5. Crucian, 7 over 1. We only got 1. That would have been nice. So 4 made about 68 silver, maybe 69 silver today. So definitely was a good day fishing. Again, our best prize was that Gibel trophy at Old Burg. So $11.60 or 11.69 silver for that. The 1.1 kilogram tench was also pretty decent at 5. Another 5 there, 4.5. So I think that was definitely fun. New personal record for the most expensive fish sold. We're up to 131 silver. So definitely was something a little bit different, something I enjoyed. I'm tempted to get some stuff for ground bait and make ground bait up, or at least switch over to using a feeder on the bottom rod. So that would be, I mean, I could go super cheap for $3. I tend to like these personally. But $30 for that. And then if we go ground bait, we'd need some crackers. So $1 there. And then we'd need, trying to remember it off the top of my head, and I can't. Ground bait, Persian Gibel, millet porridge, and sunflower oil. So additives would be millet porridge. So again, less than 1. And sunflower oil is less than 1. So I think that might be what we do, just to try something a little bit different, see if we can get some bigger fish that way. But especially if we keep going after these trophy carp here at Old Burg. But today was fun, even though I got frustrated there at the end. So appreciate everybody watching, and we'll be back again tomorrow. Have a good one.